Hola, hola, hola. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Mujer De Exito Unbounded, Woman of Success Without Limits. I am so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you, my listeners and my watchers. If you're watching me on the Coach Marti Angel YouTube channel, gracias por estar aquí. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss an episode. If you're listening to me wherever you listen to your favorite podcast shows, thank you for being here. Remember to download the episode because that's how the algorithm works. That's how they know that this podcast is something that you like to listen to. And help me out here, show a little love, throw a little love my way, and share out this episode. All right, so let's get to it. Hola, mis hermosas. I am your host for the Mujer de Exito Unbounded. Soy Marti Angel, su anfitriona. And this space, people ask, well, what is your podcast about? This is a space where you, the mujerpreneur, the Latina author, BIPOC, woman entrepreneur, where we talk about building businesses and mindset for success and building the kind of servant leadership that is rooted in who you actually are and giving you tips to rock your six figures. Welcome, everybody. I'm so contenta, so happy you're here with me today. Like I said before, whether you're listening to me on your morning walk, at your desk, or somewhere in the in-between moments of your day, gracias. Today, I want to introduce you to a voice I've been arguing with my whole life. I call it mi diablito. And let me just say that this podcast episode is going to take you way back to when I was a child. Niñas se ven y no se oyen. Growing up, that's what I heard. Niñas se ven y no se oyen. Little girls are cute, pretty to look at, but not to be heard. So growing up, that's what I heard. Niñas se ven y no se oyen. Girls are seen and not heard. Girls are not assertive. Girls are not opinionated. And that's what I heard. So I did a lot of keeping myself a little bit quiet. And college for me, being that I'm a Gen Xer, college for me wasn't really assumed for girls. For girls like me, Latina girls, oh, no. As a matter of fact, the only reason I made it to college, to the university, is because my one cousin, who was also, there's only two of us in the family that have graduated from college. He is an attorney, or was an attorney. He's the one that helped me fill out the paperwork because my dad had never gone to college here in the States. Mom didn't. Mom was only a graduate of, actually, she did go to college, but it just wasn't a thing for us Latina girls, College wasn't really assumed for girls like me. Nobody said it to wound me, though. Here's what I need you to understand. I'm not blaming. Absolutely no blame. Nobody said it to wound me. It was simply my culture. Era simplemente mi cultura. That was it. I mean, it was what my parents knew. It was what they grew up with. It was what I knew. And as a child, here's what you need to understand. A child can't tell the difference between this is our culture and this is who I am. So what happens? I absorbed it all. Yo absorbí la segunda. I just assume this is who I am. And for years, mujeres hermosas chulas, that belief stopped sounding like mi mamá and all of a sudden started sounding like me. Raise your hand if you've ever heard that. If you've ever spoken something and then turned around and looked and went, "Oh my God, that was my mom speaking." Yes, that's me. And you know what? What I found out is that this little devil that, I used to watch cartoons and there was a little devil on this side and on this side of my shoulder and a little angel on this side of my shoulder. So I always thought, one of them was talking to me. But my diablito, I found out the voice inside my head, the critical voice inside my head, I call it my little devil. It was bilingual. It was bilingual. It's bilingue. Oh my goodness. So suffice it to say that I felt beaten down in all languages that I speak. And here's the part that still catches me off guard. I don't know, but it might catch you off guard too. Mi diablito habla inglés y habla español y habla un poquito de francés. So my little devil speaks English, Spanish, and French, just like me. But here's the thing. It also speaks it perfectly. Because it was raised in the same house I was. My goodness. And you know what? It's more assertive than me. It shows up right when something good is about to land. Yes. Right before something good is about to land. A yes at my real rate. Una oportunidad que realmente quiero. Something, an opportunity that I truly like. And it whispers. That's when it shows up the most. It whispers. It whispers inside my ear and goes inside my head and says things like, "You haven't earned this. You do not deserve this. No lo mereces. Wanting this means you're not a servant leader anymore. You are selfish to want this." On and on. I mean, have you heard that voice saying the same things? Because I think my little voice, my little diablito must hang out with yours too. So it's important to understand that the critical voice inside our head is speaking to us 100% of the time. Hermosas, it's so important. It's so important for you to understand that. And because of that, because I have been, kind of manipulated to listening to that, right? Because that little voice manipulates. I actually ended up creating something for the days when the voice is loud and I need help quieting it. Do you need help quieting it? If so, come see what I made for you. You'll see it. It's in the show note links below. Or if you're listening to me wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, look for the show notes. The link is in the show notes. It's the first one there. I promise I'll put it there. Now, mujeres hermosas chulas, let me share what is a myth, not a fact. And this is so important for you to realize. Durante años pensé que mi trabajo era ganarle el argumento a esta voz. Many years, for many years, I thought my job was to win the argument with that critical voice inside my head, with the diablo, right? Prove it wrong with enough evidence. That's what I thought I had to do. Prove it wrong with enough evidence, enough achievements. I accumulated, acronyms behind my name. I mean, it was to the point where one of my coaches said, "Okay, when are you going to stop accumulating all these, what did she say? She said, not acronyms. She called them all these, I don't know, labels behind my name, right? Right. So all of my certifications came out, all of my, formal education came out, all these achievements, they all came out. But here's the thing. The thing is, everything that you have accumulated and everything that you continue to accumulate in terms of achievements are simply that critical voice saying you need more, you need more, you need more in order for everybody to believe you. Pero lo que realmente cambió, what happened to me really, and what made the biggest change, is for me to figure out that the debate that I was having with this devil voice in my head wasn't a just debate. It wasn't fair. It never is. It was a myth inherited from my culture, not a fact, but a myth. Una vez que pude nombrarlo como un mito, pude finalmente llegar a la frase de abajo. At the point where I was able to name, to call out that myth, then I knew that I had to replace it with a new fact. So I began to say, I am inherently worthy exactly as I am. And that's the mantra that I say to myself in the mirror every morning. Marty, you are inherently worthy exactly as you are. I am inherently worthy exactly as I am. Now, I want to share that with you, so take it away, write it up, take a little drink of your cafecito, write it down, plaster it, maybe take a dry erase marker and write it on your mirror at home, right? So you can always remember that you are inherently worthy exactly as you are. Now, let me just share something. Mujerpreneur to mujerpreneur. Saying that phrase is not going to fix everything. But saying that phrase over and over and over begins to be a repetitive thought in your head. Les quiero compartir que una frase, decir esa frase todos los días no arregla todo. But this is not, it's not a destiny. It's not a destination. It's not, we're always looking for destinations, or end results. Well, the end result is an ongoing result in this situation. But many of us think that if we say it 30 days, 40 days, then all of a sudden it's embedded in us and it's never going to be challenged again, which is false. No es cierto. Esto no es un destino. It's a daily practice. Es una práctica a diario. Todos los días, otra vez. And it doesn't matter. It's just like you put on your chonies every day, right? So you say this every day. And so I want to share with you. Somebody says, can you share how you do it daily? Somebody asked. And yes, I would love to share how I do it daily. But before I do that, if you're still with me, watching me on the Coach Marti Angel YouTube channel, thank you for being here, my watchers. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss an episode. And if you're listening to me wherever you listen to your favorite shows, gracias. Gracias por estar aquí. Remember to look at the show notes and see if there's any goodies that you want to have. But let's get back to it. 2 things I do every day, daily, 2 practices. I want to give you 2 palpable steps that I actually do, actually practice every single day. Chulas hermosas, this is for you. First, primero, ask before believing. Right? So, pregunta antes de creer. Basically, what that means is don't believe anything you hear inside your head without questioning it first. Cuando mi diablito habla, me pregunto, ¿dejará que un cliente me dijera esto? ¿Dejaría yo que un cliente me dijera esto y lo aceptara como verdad? And the true answer is probably not, casi nunca. And then I respond to that voice. And I respond to it in an out loud voice, in the same language that I heard it ask me the question. So, segundo, yo le respondo en voz alta en el mismo idioma en que me habló mi diablito. Si fue en español, respondo en español. In other words, if the voice that I heard spoke to me in Spanish, well, guess what? Then I'll answer it in Spanish. But if it spoke to me in English, then I'll speak to it in English. Right? Si fue en inglés, respondo en inglés. But in my voice, not in my diablito's voice. You know, the diablito's voice is like, ooh, it's kind of, I can just see it's got beady little eyes and tapping its little fingers together and thinking, ooh, I have it now. But the truth of the matter is that on the other side, you have the angels, right? The dark side, the light side. And this connects to something important. Something that I wrote about when I was going through my second bout of cancer. Your chakras don't work in separate rooms. And that's important because when you hear that voice, it's also playing and wreaking havoc in your chakra system. Because your chakras, like I said before, do not work in separate rooms. What do you mean? What do you mean, Marty? Well, when one of your chakras is out of balance because they rotate, they're energy centers and they rotate clockwise. But when we get a big scare or when we're worried or things don't go our way or, they're as fickle as our hormones. So then it starts to rotate backwards. And let me just share that here in my solar plexus, that solar plexus learned power was dangerous for a girl. It sets off a chain reaction through all the other chakras, up and down. Todo el sistema se vuelve vulnerable. Al momento que tú escuchas esa voz del diablito, todo tu sistema se vuelve vulnerable. Esa es la puerta que mi diablito ha estado esperando que se abra. So when when you're questioning yourself, when you're hearing that voice, what you need to understand is that it's in your solar plexus. And when you get scared and when you listen to that voice and give it more credence than what it deserves, it throws your whole chakra system off. And that, my friends, is the door that your little devil, tu diablito, is waiting for it to open up. Right? Because then it's going to go in and it's going to talk to you even more. So here's what I do. I talk to it, I write to it, and I speak to it. So Mujeres hermosas chulas, you have to be aware that it's there, right? And every week I write more about this because on Substack, if you've ever caught me on Substack, I am known as the Sixth Sense Mujer. I am finally allowing my gifts to open up and to share them. I write more about this as I work through it myself. So if you've ever wanted to see what I write and you haven't read one of my books, come and read it with me. I'll be there. The link is in the show notes. Come follow me on Substack. I would love to get you to write a comment that says something like, hey, I heard your podcast and that's why I'm here on Substack with you, right? Okay. So let's move forward a little bit. I want to be really, really honest with you about something. Chulas hermosas, this practice, this daily practice, la práctica diaria, es la parte más difícil de todo esto. It is the hardest part for you to practice this daily, right? I mean, think about it. If it was so easy to practice things daily, man, we'd all play the piano, we'd all sing, we'd all do these things that you have to practice every day to get good at, right? So it would be much easier if I could tell you that I did this once and all of a sudden magic worked. Magic! Mágica pasó cuando ya lo practiqué una vez. Nope, nope, nope. Not happening. The devil, el diablito, the one that sits on my shoulder, I call it the little devil. If I were to tell you that he packed up and left because I did this practice once, you'd probably laugh at me, which is true. Because that's not what happened. I don't think that's what happens for anybody, right? That's why it's called a practice, a daily practice, something you have to do every day. Now, I do want to share that some mornings I wake up and the voice is quiet. And I feel strong. I feel safe. I feel assertive. I feel powerful. And yet there are other mornings I wake up, especialmente cuando algo bueno está por llegar, when I hear the voice even more when there is a big opportunity lining itself up to come into my reality, or a new client, or more money, or a new sale, right? Dinero entrando de una forma que se siente casi demasiado buena. Ahí está mi diablito. That's where my little devil lives, waiting, ready in the wings with that same old line, the same old line that says, you are not good enough, Marty. Y eso está bien. I mean, that's part of the practice, right? It's part of the practice. It doesn't mean that I failed. No significa que fallé. It just means that today is a day to practice even more. So sometimes when you wake up and you feel that tug inside, it just means that today you're probably going to need to practice it a little bit more. And that, my friends, is so critically important for you guys to understand. It just means that you need to really focus and be aggressively present with what it is that you are listening to. All right? So, hermosas chulas, if you're still with me on the Coach Marti Angel YouTube channel, please help me grow this channel. Send me some love, subscribe, and say hello and share it out so that somebody else can benefit. All right. Hermosas chulas, that's what I have for you this week. The energy of this week is all about your solar plexus chakra. So, hermosas chulas, if this episode landed for you, please share it with somebody that you know that may benefit from hearing it. And share it to help me reach otras mujerpreneurs in your circle who need to hear that they too are not alone in this. Because remember, I said we give tips to rock your business. When you stop listening to that critical voice in your head, when you do that daily practice, the critical voice inside your head feels like it's going to be beaten down and it becomes less loud, but you have to continuously practice it, right? So question it. What? I mean, just like you were talking to somebody else, just like you were talking to somebody, sometimes I grab a mirror and I just talk to it. So remember to share this out. Share it with the one who has been quiet for too long, the one who is wired for depth and has been told that's not enough, that she's not enough. Send it to her. And then please come to Substack. Come and read what I write. Every week I show up for the MujerPreneurs who are done playing small, who are ready to receive everything that they've been working toward. So if you're ready to receive all of the good energy, or you just want a read, make sure to reach out. The link will be here in the description below. It'll also be in the show notes. Come find me there, and I'll be waiting for you. Recibe lo que tú mereces, chula. Receive what you deserve. Because remember, you are inherently worthy exactly as I am. Mujeres hermosas, chulas, this is your host to the Mujer de Exito Unbounded, Marti Angel, saying gracias por estar aquí. Everybody have a beautiful day. And remember, you are inherently worthy exactly as you are. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Namaste.